Hello guys, so here I'm back again with another Escalation Tier 10 video. This time I'm gonna be playing Camp White Oak. Let me show you my build real quick. So I'm using 4-piece striker, all pieces with echo and critical hit damage. I'm using the backpack and the chest piece of course. And for my gloves I'm using Exodus gloves because these things are great for solo play. I'm also using Sheska knee pads with echo and almost godroll DPS stats, and I'm using double MK46 with echo, critical hit chance and frenzy to deal with the variety pack debuff. I'm also using Ravenous for one of the bosses and a quick step side pistol. For my seasonal modifier, I already have it maxed out. I have invincible active modifier, and I'm using munitions, veil, surge drive, and contagion passive modifiers. And I'm also using the reviver hype and the decoy as always. For my stats, I want to show where all the stats are coming from. I have 186.3% critical hit damage, and the combination of the all weapon damage and the LMG damage should be around 203% from all my prototype sources. So anyways, let's start with the mission. So Camp White Oak is definitely the easiest mission to farm this week, especially with the nasty rotation that we have of escalation missions. This is a mission that is both extremely short. It should take you between 14 and 15 minutes to complete, and it also has a ton of gear crates, 15 gear crates in total, and 15 chances to get prototype gear. So it's a wonderful mission to farm. For this first encounter, I'm gonna be staying on this giant rock, and I'm gonna be shooting from the right side to be able to shoot the enemies without trying to overcome the piece of cover that they're using. If an enemy is trying to flank us from the left, we can also easily just change position and be able to fight them. That's what I did with the gunner dog thing at the beginning. But yeah, it's a pretty short encounter just for enemies, and yeah, we can continue on. And right as we break down this barrier, we're gonna find our first gear cache, which is right over there, our first chance on getting prototype gear. Let me remind you, there's 15 of those caches throughout the whole mission. So anyways, as we're approaching the forest, we're gonna use another decoy and we're gonna throw it on the right. We're gonna do it right about here, and we're gonna run behind that log to take cover. There's 3 enemies for this beginning wave, and we need to make sure that when we kill the last enemy, which is going to proc the next enemy wave, we need to make sure that we are using a recently proc Frenzy LMG. That way we're going to have the most time to shoot all of the enemies that are going to be rappelling down from that wall from over there. Now most of the time the enemy formation is usually chill enough so that you're able to spawn kill them, but if you get unlucky like in this run, you are going to have to take some cover to deal with the enemies. But there's just 5 of those enemies, so it's not that big of a deal. Let's just kill this guy. Luckily he has contagion, so he was taking 40% increased damage, and there you go. And as a reminder for the double LMG strat, every time we get 1 kill with 1 LMG, we're gonna swap to the other one so that we can remove the variety pack stacks. That way we can keep our DPS output as high as possible. Also, this is a really great mission to grab all the LMG ammo drops that the enemy leave after you kill them. So keep that in mind. For this next encounter, we're gonna destroy the yellow box for the turret so that it doesn't annoy us, and we're gonna deal with the 4 enemies that compose this single enemy wave. And yeah, it's like what I was talking about variety pack. Like you saw the clown icon, that's variety pack, and you start getting a debuff for every consecutive kill you get with the same weapon. But because I got the kill with the pistol, I managed to remove the debuff. So yeah, I just have to make sure that I use a different weapon for the next kill so that I don't get that much of a debuff. If you didn't got enough LMG ammo, you can use that ammo crate over there. And here we're gonna find the gear crate number 2 and 3. So yeah, it's very important that you go for those crates. They restart daily and you always have a chance of getting prototype gear that scales with your current escalation tier. So all of those drops from those crates are going to be escalation tier 10 quality. Anyways, we're gonna take a little detour before arriving towards the first boss fight, and we're gonna find boss crate number 4 and number 5. And yeah, after we take those, we can now go back towards the boss fight. And yes, just as a reminder, the boss fight in this room is going to be a heavy enemy, so that's why I recommend using a Ravenous to keep the encounter a lot more consistent. Doesn't matter if it's expertise or not. We're gonna start this encounter by throwing a decoy to the left, and we're gonna take cover on this pile of boxes right on the center. That way we can keep a decent line of sight with all the enemies spawned both from the door from the right that you saw open, as well as the door on the left. That's the place where we're gonna get the second enemy wave that's going to spawn the heavy enemy. We have to make sure that we cut line of sight with the named guy so that he's not able to shoot at us. But it's a pretty easy encounter. After you kill all of the enemies from over here, we can change one of our weapons for a Ravenous. We're gonna make sure that we destroy the ammo belt of that Chunga. I'm gonna do it with the gunner weapon. And once the ammo belt is destroyed, we're gonna get the blue primers, the one from the left shoulder, and we're gonna stack them as soon as possible. Every time we switch shoulders and we get a shot with a different shoulder, we are going to get those blue primers. And those blue primers will amplify our damage against armor plates, which is the type of health that the Chungas have in general. It's a pretty good gun, and at least for this boss fight, it's an amazing gun to use. It doesn't matter if it's expertise or not, as I said. So before we go to the next room, we're gonna go behind this truck and we're gonna find box number 6 and box number 7. If I make that joke, I'll probably lose subscribers, so I will not make that reference. So, anyways, for the next room, we're gonna stay right behind the jeep and we're gonna find a wave of 3 enemies. After we kill 2 of those enemies, another wave of 2 enemies is going to spawn from that box over there. And after we kill them, that's all for this room. We're gonna get the LMG ammo drops, and to the left, we are going to find a Black Tusk cache. That's box number 8. We're gonna need a Black Tusk key, and yeah, another chance for getting prototype gear. And after we input the code for this gate, to the left we're gonna find loot crate number 9. But I am not going to get too close because our timing for this next encounter is a little bit tight. So make sure you have quick step equip. We're gonna run towards the second bridge. We're gonna take the piece of cover to the right and we're gonna drop a decoy to the left right in front of us. That way we can deal with the initial enemy wave. And we should be able to spread contagion if our timing is right. After that, another enemy wave is going to spawn at the back of the room, and once we kill one enemy from that enemy wave, we're gonna get another enemy wave to our right. So we're gonna go back to the beginning piece of cover that I used, and we're gonna deal with that enemy wave. And to spawn the last enemy wave, which is going to spawn at the back to the right, we need to kill the last enemy from those beginning waves. The last enemy wave is going to be composed of a yellow sniper dog and a yellow turret operator, so we need to be really careful on not losing all of our armor or proccing Hellgate. And yeah, just be careful with the lines of sight and make sure that we can kill the last enemies. Gonna be using the gunner weapon so that I don't waste my high quality ammo. And there you go. So, as I already said, it's very important that you grab the LMG ammo drops because, especially for the next rooms all the way to the end, the ammo crates position are absolute trash. Like, they're gonna be right next to where an enemy spawn point is. So, it's ideal that if we don't have enough ammo, just go back to a previous armor crate and yeah. That's pretty much my advice. Also, there's the gear crate number 10 and number 11. And yeah, we're gonna open this door right over here. And we can start with the next encounter. As I said, there's an ammo crate over there, but the position is pretty far away from where the enemy spawn. And we want to make this mission both quick and we don't want the enemies to take a more advantageous position. So anyways, we're gonna run from to the side of this their pathway. We're gonna hide behind this rock and we're gonna fight these enemies from this position. Don't climb or don't go any higher because otherwise the enemies will climb the little hill that's behind of them. and it's gonna be a lot harder to shoot them. Like the lines of sight are absolutely terrible. Like don't go past that lock when the first enemy wave spawns. And yeah, that should be the easiest way to deal with them. Then once you deal with most of the enemies from that beginning wave, we're gonna get a second wave right at the end from that dirt pathway. So the idea for this encounter is that we're gonna try to push over the dirt pathway as we fight with all of the next enemy waves along the way. Luckily, there's a ton of cover that we can use so that we are able to fight with the enemies. And we gotta watch out for the dogs on the lower part of this combat scenario, mainly because the enemies can get a pretty decent line of sight to be able to flank us, like that purple over there. So yeah, as long as we have like a decent cover from the enemies in front of us, we should be able to prioritize the enemies on the docks without too much issue. I believe there's around 3 or 4 enemy waves, and usually the last one is the easiest one. I think it's mostly composed of reds. And that last enemy wave usually likes to hide behind that log where I shot the last guy. So yeah, that's that encounter. There's no gear craze on this room, so we can go towards the next one after we grab all of our LMG ammo drops. So again, there's an ammo crate over there, but the enemies are already on the room, so we cannot grab that one without also emptying our LMGs to proc frenzy. So ideally, you should already have your LMG ammo full, so that you can start proccing frenzy and deal with the enemy on the dock to the right at the back of the room. That enemy can be a little bit tricky, especially if they flank you. So yeah, we need to deal with them first, and from there we can start pushing to from the left side of the path towards the resort where the president is. The idea is that we're gonna start pushing from the left. We're gonna be approaching from this box. From there, we're gonna move to the center. There's a piece of cover that we can take. And from there, as we're dealing with the last enemy waves, we are gonna be pushing towards the metal box thing that it's on the back to the right, so that we are able to deal with the last enemy waves. So that's what I'm talking about. Like I start moving towards the next piece of cover, which is this one right in the center. And one of the next enemy waves spawn right next to the manor resort. I don't really know what it is. So anyways, once I saw those enemies approaching, I'm gonna now move towards the right, towards the metal boxing, and I'm gonna be dealing with the last enemy wave from right over here. Usually the lines of sights are good enough to be able to deal with most of the enemy waves from over here, but sometimes the enemies can be a little bit annoying with their positioning and their AI, and you pretty much have to wait for them to peek out of covers to be able to shoot them. So yeah, it can get a little bit tedious. Like this encounter in particular took more time than I would have wanted to, but at the same time, it was also the quickest run that I had. So that's why I'm recording with this video. I believe there's 3 more enemies that I had to kill, and yeah, normally I don't have to push this far towards where the enemies are. These encounters are usually far quicker than what I'm currently playing at. So anyways, after you kill the last enemy, as always, we're gonna make sure that we have full LMG ammo for the next encounter. I didn't get that many LMG ammo drops, so I had to run back towards the ammo crate in this room. And they're right over here. And I'm doing this because the last ammo crate, the one that's right before the final boss fight, that's pretty much next to where the final enemy wave is going to spawn. So yeah, it's far better for me to just already be full of LMG ammo and have my frenzy LMG ready so that I'm able to start fighting those enemies. Before we get to the final room, there's 2 crates on each of the docks. There's 2 over there where I shot from, and on the beginning dock, the one where the enemy spawn, there's also 2 other crates. So that's 15 prototype gear crates in total. Pretty good mission to farm prototype cores or even targeted loot if it's decent if there's something decent for this mission. So anyways, we're gonna get inside the lodge. I just now read it's a lodge. So, well, not sure if I can call this building a lodge, but anyways, we're gonna open the door, and right as we're approaching this black box, we're gonna throw a decoy, and we're gonna start shooting from the left side of the metal box. So the way this wave works is that once you killed three enemies from that beginning wave, you're gonna have an enemy spawn from the right flank, from a metal box, right from over there. It can be anything. It can be a red in this case. It can be a dog. I believe you can even get a chunga from there. But yeah. And also, once you are one enemy left from the beginning enemy wave, the boss is going to spawn from the back of the room, from a metal building from the left, right where the medic is. So we have to make sure that we keep some of the easiest enemies alive so that we're able to just quickly kill them and then start dealing with the boss. But unfortunately, the last easy enemy was a medic, so I had to kill them. And then, as I said, the boss just spawned on the left. Now, the boss was being a little bit of a prick, so he started shooting at me. I had to use the active modifier to be able to tank all of their damage. And right as you're dealing with the boss, an helicopter with two more enemies is going to spawn right in the center of the room. So you should be able to spawn kill those enemies pretty quickly. And yeah, if I didn't use the active modifier, I wouldn't have been able to easily kill all the enemies. And yeah, I prefer to just get downs and use my reviver hive that way. So that's kind of quite okay, everyone. As I said, it's a pretty easy mission. It took me 15 minutes for this run, but you should be able to get a significant lower time after you grab all the crates on the first run. And I believe there's something like 80 enemies in this mission. I don't remember exactly. You should be able to see it on the end summary. So anyways, that's all for this video. If you like, you can like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. I read all of your comments, guys. And as always, thank you so much, guys, for the 500 subs. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Have a nice one. See you. Bye bye.